Welcome back to another build. Today is my PvE magden. I quite literally spent a day trying to figure out a good magden build, and this is what I've settled on. So, buff up. Sitting at 4.8k spell damage, 34% crit, 32k max mag, 26k max health. Forgot the buff there. And 21k spell resist, 17k physical, and with the staff buff, 4.8k spell damage. We will do champion points first because that is the easiest. Obviously you want your main buffs. Then you want fighting finesse, fighting aura, master at arms, and thermitage. If you're doing stuff solo, you can swap this one out for thermitage. Then for your red tree, just the basic vitality, ironclad, rejuvenation, and siphoning spells, because you are going to be killing a lot of stuff. Green trees, all up to you. You run what you want. We will get into sets. This one's a no-brainer. Frostbite. I'm going with infused to get that little extra spell damage. But it does spell damage, crit, and spell damage, and then the 5-piece. Increase your damage done with frost abilities by 8%. Increase your damage done against chilled enemies by 4%. Increase your damage done against enemies afflicted with minor brittle by 2%. That's a 12% flat bonus that this set has when you run a frost staff. And obviously we're running the Maelstrom frost staff on the back bar, also infused with the frost glyph. Your lights and heavies deal additional damage in Wall of Elements, like so. They deal a little more damage, and the reason we have the lightning staff on the front bar is, well, it just works better than having two frost staffs. And you can also swap the glyphs around, so this is a frost glyph, and this is the increased spell damage glyph. Whatever you prefer. The monster helm, a no-brainer. Ice heart. I tried a few other pieces, but ice heart was the one I settled on. And then obviously Winterborn. When you deal frost damage, you summon an ice pillar that does 6,317 frost damage to all enemies in a 3-meter radius. The ice pillar persists for 2 seconds and reduces movement speed, and can happen every 6 seconds. And the higher your spell damage or weapon damage is, the more damage this will deal. For the rings, the traits that you'd want instead are all bloodthirsty. I just have max mag because I haven't transmuted them yet. But you want all bloodthirsty or 1 infused and 2 bloodthirsty. Skills, it's really simple. This is just slotted for the minor berserk. This is the main burst skill. It's crazy strong, like so. Then, and it also adds major fracture, breach, not fracture, Arctic Blast, we're using it for two things. The main heal and the pulse of frost damage. Because see, it can proc our ice pillar and our ice heart. This ability alone can proc all three of our sets. And then this is just our main spammable. Normally, when dungeons are in content, you want to stand this far away so you're getting the maximum amount of damage. And then it will also put the enemies off balance, which, paired with our wall of elements, will increase our heavy attack damage with our lightning staff. Obviously, Blue Betty, it explains itself. It does brutality, major brutality, and major sorcery. And it also restores magicka over its duration. And every 5 seconds it removes a negative effect. Simply put, this is one of the best buffs you can have in the game. Northern Storm front bar, or, where I don't have it, most people do, is Meteor, or you can double bar your Feral Guardian and take the magicka variant of it, but I'm not doing that. Does, well, big area around you, deals frost damage. It says only 5k on the bar, 6k, but that's a lot higher when you start getting into your rotation and stuff. Those 6k ticks can go up to well over 9, 10k. Next, back bar, Lotus Bloom. This also counts as a heal. When you use it, your light attacks, like so, will restore health to you and your allies around you. Same with heavy attacks, they'll restore a little more. Then if you heavy attack with your ice staff bar, you get, well, a nice damage shield. That's why we're not running a damage shield, because we have damage shield built into the build anyway. Next, Fletcher Infection. You can also take the stamina variant. It'll do less damage, but you'll have a little more AoE. Every second cast, it'll do increased damage over time. Every second cast deals 50% increased damage, which is nice, of course. Obviously, Winter's Revenge. We need AoE. And it deals. This also procs all three of our sets. There's our little Frostbite. There's Ice Heart. And the other set's pretty much just a passive. Unstable Wool, of course. Using an Ice Staff because Warden and, well, Frost Staffs deal increased damage on a Warden. And just your resist buff. This can be slotted with anything else. You could run Bird of Prey or Soul Trap. And then obviously the Destro ulti. But its damage is ridiculous. Does big AoE on the ground. And yes, it procs all the sets. So this build has a lot of opportunity to proc all the sets at once. Let's see. And passives. You want all the passives. This is why we're going on the front bar. Increase damage by another 8% on the front bar. You don't really need many out of here, except you need Maturation and Nature's Gift. Helps with recovery, and you will be healing people, because Lotus Bloom, light attacks, heal you and allies around you. For your Winter's Embrace, you want all of these. Increase the chance of implying chilled with Winter's Embrace abilities by 200%. Enemies and allies who have recently been chilled take 10% more critical damage and healing from you. Another 10%. Frozen Armor is just resistance, which you want. Icy Aura, reduce the effectiveness of snares, obviously good. Increase your magic and frost damage by 10%. Everything on the Warden is magic or frost damage. Magic damage. Magic damage. Frost damage. Magic damage. Frost damage. Another frost damage. The only thing that is not magic or frost damage on this build is the lightning staff. And that's where you can put the frost glyph on the front bar. On the lightning staff, so you deal frost damage there as well. I just prefer how it is set up now, and it works better for me. Destruction staff, obviously, all these. This is the main one, though. AoE, 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 AoE. And this is where you can take the other Fletcher Fly to get more AoE, and you'll deal increase. It'll pretty much even out the damage with this. A lightning staff, increase your AoE area of effect abilities by 8%. So another flat percent damage. Let's see, character sheet. Advanced. And then there's the flat crit. 23. Frost damage 41. Magic damage 33. Those go up with our set buffs. The frost and the magic damage both go up well above 60%. So yes, on the main bar, these stats don't look too good. But when you factor in all of the percent damage from the sets and buffs, these go through the roof. The most damage I've been able to pull on this build against a trial dummy was 86k, which you only need 50 to do all the content in the game. So, that is, and obviously all the style is Dremora, from Imperial City and Bogdan. Just for fashion, of course. The staff is the Imperial Champion, and I think Lynn Morrill or Jamora. Either way, hope y'all enjoyed the build, enjoy the video, and enjoy the build if you decide to use it. Oh yes. And the sets. The Frostbite is found in Blackwood, or you can buy it. And the other set is from Maelstrom Arena, which is where you get the Maelstrom staff, obviously. But Winterborn. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, and I will see you on the next one.